So I've been looking for a good dialogue between me and some physicist or somebody online willing to discuss physics. And back when Carl Sagan made his Cosmos miniseries, I saw him do this explanation of time travel. And it goes something like this.
By how much? Barnard's star could be reached by such a ship in 8 years ship time. The center of the Milky Way galaxy in 21 years. The Andromeda galaxy in 28 years. Of course, the people left behind on the Earth would see things somewhat differently. Instead of 21 years to the center of the galaxy, they would measure it as 30,000 years. When we got back, very few of our friends would be around to greet us.
So I I saw that video back in the mid '80s, maybe before that, and at that moment when I heard him say those things, I'm thinking, well, the Andromeda galaxy has got to be further than 28 light years away. And since then, I've looked up numerous videos and lectures, and I've studied physics practically ever since Carl Sagan made his series on uh, Cosmos. So I I've studied physics. I know the Lorentz transform makes everything work out uh, according to Einstein, but I think it's incomplete. So I've been looking for anybody to have a dialogue with me about this, and I get nothing but insults and backpedaling and no, I'm not going to do that because I feel you need to educate yourself on these issues, and you think you're smarter than Einstein. I never said that. I just post my stuff. I never said I was smarter than Einstein. I never said I had a perfect knowledge of the universe. But I think they're projecting. I think the other people are doing precisely what they're accusing me of doing. So I contacted Professor Dave Explains with his posted uh, email on all of his videos, and he purports he's going to answer your questions, but all he does is point you to his videos and won't answer you in the email. He'll answer you by throwing insults and saying he's not going to summarize anything in the email. So he puts his email up, and then he complains about not answering your questions directly. So I gave him this. There's 5 questions here. I'm asking for a yes or no answer. It would have been no trouble for him to go through these and say yes, no, yes, no. I don't think that's a proper question because you're comparing it wrong. But yet the question remains, and he hasn't answered it. And so he gets down here. Here he's saying, "Yeah, I'm not answering your question because I don't feel it's like summarizing. I don't feel like summarizing my tutorials. I asked for a yes or no answer. I'm not asking for a summary. I just want him to answer these 5 questions." And so he comes back with nothing but insults, and I give him this little bit about a dialogue I had with Brian Greene decades ago about my algebraic mesh of three physical laws, which is here. I basically emailed this to three physicists back in 2000 about combining three physical laws into one equation. And I don't think it's unreasonable to take three physical laws, combine them with algebra without breaking any algebraic rules, and then the resulting equation should be something new about the universe. And as long as you don't break, if you take three equations, you combine them with algebra, multi-parameter algebra, but it's still algebra. You can see here the r squared in the denominator of both of these. They're inverted of each other. And so one divided by the other, it cancels the distance between them. So it could be anywhere in the universe, like quantum entangled particles. They could be anywhere in the universe. And it doesn't matter that their distance between them is any distance you want to make it. It's just like quantum mechanics. You got Coulomb's electromotive force here and Newton's force of gravity here, and the distances between them cancel completely. It just goes out of the equation. I'm basically setting gravity equal to charge, but that should be possible no matter how far you go, unless you're around a black hole. I don't know when that wouldn't occur. But, and then here's the Lorentz transform down here in the denominator of Einstein's equation, which is the proper place to put it. And so I factor this down until I get to this equation here. Energy equals LQQ over M, which is and then it still has the Lorentz transform passes right through to this last equation. So I'm still incorporating it. Like Professor Dave says I don't understand, but it's in my equation. So I don't see what he's complaining about. And then here the equation E equals LQQ over M. Q is charge. The capital Q is the charge of the universe. The lowercase q is charge of the object, the observing object. And then it's divided by mass. So in this equation, I've combined the three constants in the three equations. There's the electromotive constant, which is k, c squared, which is the speed of light squared, over gravitational constant. I haven't broken any laws of algebra, and it pops out this equation at the end, describing exactly what time is. Time equals... See, if you break the velocity up into distance over time, like everybody says, velocity is distance divided by time. If you're going 50 miles per hour, that's 50 miles divided by 1 hour. And so it's all hunky-dory. Time equals the distance traveled over the speed of light, which he does in his video. He says that in his video, that the velocity is divided by c. Velocity is distance over time, and he basically says that in his videos. And then the part of Einstein's equation that he doesn't take into account is charge. And I'm telling Professor Dave that I thought Einstein's equation was incomplete. And he comes back with these nasty insults for no reason. I said nothing like this. I said nothing like what he says here. He's going to ghost me. He hasn't answered my questions directly. He says, go to my videos, learn physics. I don't have time for this shit. Yeah, he uses the word fucking. I have no fucking clue about what I'm talking about. I don't think he's read any of it. You don't even understand high school physics, which he he doesn't know. He doesn't know me. He's had a dozen emails interacting with me, and so he automatically knows I know nothing. Automatically knows. And then so he's saying I'm pretending to understand physics better than Einstein. I didn't say that. He's assuming that. I've gotten emails from hundreds of people like you. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know, how am I supposed to convey my mind in a dozen emails? Delusional narcissist. He calls me a narcissist too, who can't accept reality when that they aren't the most brilliant person alive. I never said I was the most brilliant person alive. I'm looking for answers, and he won't share anything besides his videos and insults. Blocking this email. So he's ghosting me. I have better shit to do. Yeah, I go to the restroom and shit. I can't interact with you because you're stupid. So that's where it stands. I don't care. Dave Farina is a delusional narcissist. Dave Farina called me a delusional narcissist. I think he's projecting. So I don't know what to do about this guy because he's famous. I'm not. He's not a narcissist. He makes YouTube videos about how stupid everybody else is. He knows this stuff. I don't. I've had this equation since 1999. I've been, perusing it over and over, time and time again. I didn't change anything about the equations other than combining them. I broke no algebraic laws. And it's easy to do in like 5-10 minutes. Type all this up in 5-10 minutes. Get it all exactly perfect. Go over it 1,000 times. There's nothing wrong with it. I can't understand why Professor Dave won't. He puts his email up on his video and says, you're free to come ask me questions. But when you ask him a question, he gets all frustrated with you. And here's basically what I've been asking him with, please answer with yes and no. And he won't do that. I think it's because there's a conflict in his mind, and he can't resolve it. I think he's conflicted about the physics that he's talking about. And that's why he won't answer, because it violates mathematics on a basic level. You can't resolve the idea that the speed of light is a limit and still use the Lorentz transform. You're obviously going like 90,000 times the speed of light. And I'm fully aware that the Lorentz transform contracts space and time, but you start on Earth, you go to the Andromeda galaxy, and then you stop relative to Earth, and you look back. Did you go 2.4 million light years, or did you go 28 light years? Did you go 90,000 times the speed of light when you look back at Earth 28 years later? Or did you go much shorter distance? I don't get it. And so I'm asking him, please answer with yes or no. Is it true or not? And it's like talking with a flat earther. He just points to these diagrams and videos and claims that I don't know anything. And yet he hasn't addressed one bit of what I'm asking him. So, all caps. So learn about reality and stop emailing me. Then why'd you make your email public? It's very obnoxious. You could have watched all of them by now, and already I've realized why your questions are meaningless. I give up. Had this thing since 99, and I can't have a logical dialogue with a fellow physicist. I've tried Brian Greene, and he answered me one time, but then nothing ever after. Absolutely nothing ever after. I went to DAC in San Francisco, and I don't know if it was DAC. It was probably, what was it? It wasn't Design Automation Conference. It was RSA Conference in San Francisco. And that was when, I don't know. Anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson was lecturing there. And I saw that his presentation didn't have any audience participation scheduled for it. So I went to the administration, the RSA conference administration, to see if I could contact Neil about a few questions I wanted to ask him and in front of the audience. And surprise, surprise, Neil said, "Okay, yeah, we'll put a microphone out in the hallway just for you." And so during his lecture, it was kind of a banter between him and somebody else at RSA conference, and his talk leading up to that was talking about fake math and how scientists have to be very careful about throwing ideas around and not having any kind of backing on them. And I had cited Carl Sagan's little blurb, the same one I had here that I showed you earlier, and this equation, and maybe Neil knew me from my work that way, doing the physics that way. And so at the end of the talk, Neil cued me to ask my question, and I go, since the universe is made primarily of dark energy and dark matter, like over 70% of the universe is this unknown stuff, how can we be certain that the Big Bang is real? And Neil responded with, I don't think certain is the right word. And I went and sat back down. He wanted to continue his dialogue with me, and so after he made this rambly bit about how maybe the Big Bang isn't certain, he tried to get me to come up on stage with him, and I didn't want to do that. So that kind of ended badly. But I wanted to interact with Neil later, but I tried contacting the Hayden Planetarium in New York, and try to contact Neil, and I get this receptionist that says, no, you can't talk to Neil. He's busy doing other things, and don't call back and don't try to contact him. And that I think was the whole thing about science is you're supposed to have an open debate about these issues, and none of the scientists are willing to do that. You have to enroll in their class, or you have to watch all their videos before you say anything to them. And even if you do watch them all, they're gonna say you're a crackpot, you're a narcissist, go fish, go fly a kite and get shocked by electricity before you talk to me. Well, there you have it.